What's up, Madridistas? Happy March 14th. Kian Sabani here. The first thing I wanted to say is just congratulations to all the Madridistas around the world for that very stressful yet epic and heroic win over Atletico Madrid. But let's emphasize again stressful because let's not sugarcoat it. Has not been pretty this season. That was not a good performance despite Real Madrid advancing. And here we are. It's been a weird season. Therapy session number 79. Even the wins, the post-game podcast where we log on and Real Madrid win, we're talking about all the problems. And despite Real Madrid being so underwhelming, we're here in the thick of it. 3 competitions. That's just Real Madrid DNA, I guess. So the second thing I wanted to say was just gratitude and thank you to all the members who joined us on the post-game show the night of the game, right on cue after the final whistle, live on Zoom. Another record attendance of members logging on. Leah and I did a 1-hour post-game show, and we continue to break records. As you guys know, every month, the biggest game of the season, the post-game show for that game is only for members. And it's our way of saying thank you and giving as much gratitude and bonus content as we possibly can for our members. And it's not just the post-game show. Like, we've been relentless and we will continue to be relentless with bonus content for our members. So we did a preview show before the game. We did the post-game show right after the game. And then the day after, El Dia Después dropped with Matt Wiltsey for our members. So that's a lot of content in just 3 days. And we're going to continue to be relentless about this. We promise. So for those of you guys who are not members yet, and I emphasize yet because I no doubt you will be at some point because it's just too much fun being part of this Madridista family. And the party just goes on the whole time, and it's so much fun. Meeting you guys is a pleasure. I love interacting with you guys. I've clipped the first 10 minutes of the post-game podcast, and that's what you're about to listen to or watch if you're on YouTube. I'm going to emphasize again, it's the first 10 minutes of the post-game show. I emphasize that again because the first 10 minutes we're riding high in emotion. Like, we're recording this right after Rudiger's penalty, so we're jacked up. We may have blurted out a few curse words here and there towards Marcos Llorente and Atletico Madrid. But we were just jacked up on adrenaline, and then after the first 10 minutes, we kind of just move into the analysis of the actual game. But enjoy the first 10 minutes. Enjoy the raw emotion, unfiltered, kind of just our thoughts unchained after the final whistle. If you want access to the full episode plus so much more, go to patreon.com/managingmadrid. It's also linked in the show notes. And if you do not have Patreon in your country, we have opened up YouTube memberships for those of you guys who do not have access to Patreon in your country. You can simply hit join on the memberships tab on the Managing Madrid YouTube channel. You don't have to sign up for both. Just one is fine. You get the same content on both platforms. And that's it. Enough blabbering. Let's get into it. First 10 minutes, raw emotion. Enjoy. Oh, we're live.
Okay. Woo!
Hello and welcome to the Managing Madrid podcast. After some damn StreamYard messages saying traffic is too high, we wanted to go live right away. We couldn't because StreamYard said our traffic was too high. Good problem? I don't know. But when we are riding the emotional high of another Real Madrid penalty shootout victory and ripping, oh my God, it's so delicious and so sweet, ripping the heart out of Atletico Madrid and Marcos fucking Llorente hitting the crossbar. Fuck you, Marcos! Fuck you! Madrid! Oh my God. Oh.
There's a reason why Zidane picked Fede over him. There's a reason.
Yes. Oh my God. Well, Leah, I just want to say that I knew this the whole time. I was very confident despite all the suffering and struggles. And I'll tell you when this all started. I'm in Cuba right now. It's super random. It's a trip that I booked with the family. And I brought my microphone because I was like, I have to record a post-game podcast. And I got to Cuba in the airport, and the Cuban government took my microphone away. They said, we're confiscating this. You don't have documents for your microphone. And I'm like, what are you talking about? It's not cocaine, it's a microphone. So anyways, I took it. And so I have a shitty audio quality tonight, but this was an omen. I was like, the moment they took my microphone away, I said, I knew it. The more our backs are against the wall, you can take our microphones, you can make us suffer. The more unlikely it is, the more likely it is that Real Madrid will find a way, and we found a way.
Facts. Period.
Shay, you're right, but I can't repeat what you just said. Leo, take over, please. I'm just rambling. I'm just so jacked up right now.
Listen, you need a new microphone anyways, so that is also an omen.
It was a new microphone. It just came in from Amazon, and they took it
That's
away.
rough.
Yeah, whatever.
That's shit. Listen, they knew something that we didn't know. I also tweeted though, Amazon. I also tweeted that it's so scripted. It's like Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, and UCL lore to win against them in pens. So, listen, I'm here for it. We suffered. Holy shit, we suffered, but it tastes sweeter because we suffered. We were so bad. Like one of the worst performances probably of the year. So bad. And it's just even sweeter to like, especially against Atletico Madrid, against them, the players, the fans. They're losers. That's what they are.
Isn't it so funny, Leah, that just based on how the penalty shootout goes and went, we just have a different conversation completely about a terrible performance, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I had funny enough, I was actually most nervous about Lucas Vazquez, despite him being like, you know, the stereotypical, you know, Godfather penalty taker that he is. I just felt like maybe he's due at some point, you know, to
Right.
and there's just so much pressure to live up to the guy who juggles the ball in the Champions League final penalty
Yeah.
shootout, who is twirling the ball on his fingers against Manchester City. I think I mixed that up. It was the other way around. I just love this like story of Rudiger taking the fifth penalty again. Big balls, Jude Bellingham. He's converted this one. He converted last year's at the Etihad. Mbappe set the tone with that. I mean, the Alvarez like roller coaster double kick.
Yeah.
I was like, what's going on? Why is there a delay? Like, what's it?
No, I saw all of the players go like 2-2-2, and I'm like,
yeah,
what's going on? But then when the referee said he did like leg, no, and I was like, oh, okay, so it's fine, it counted. But then the graphic came up on the screen, and it was an X, and I was like, oh. So I'm wondering the fans in the stadium if they even knew what had happened because it was very
right.
confusing. But
I mean, even after
sucks.
it was disallowed, I was still confused. I was like, so did it count? There was no official word. The commentator was kind of confused about it too.
Yeah.
There's just a lot going on. I mean, who would have thought that Marcos Llorente, a beloved former son of mine, would turn out to become such a villain, and anti-Madridista, and here we are. Like, how satisfying was it that after all the scuffles that he had, and that whatever that weird thing he was like trying to like get into Rudiger's head after he missed his penalty, that his penalty missed.
Yeah. Didn't he celebrate against us the last time we played them?
Oh, he always yeah, definitely. Yeah, he has been unapologetic after leaving us. I'd like to start on a positive note. We have, but I mean, like, before getting into like this player was bad and this approach was bad, I'm so proud of Camavinga tonight. Came in off the bench. I lost count. It was at least half a dozen of crucial defensive interventions that were brilliant, like slide tackles. He's winning the ball cleanly, like peak vintage Camavinga. This is the Camavinga we've been waiting for all season. This is his best performance of the season. And what a time. Like, we needed him to come in off the bench. We needed him desperately, and he came good, and he was awesome. Shout out to Camavinga.
A good game for him to find his form again. Asensio also is a warrior. He's unbelievable. The same thing, like no fear, he's Ramos reincarnated. Like, he's literally Ramos. It's wild. his like slide tackle on the other side of the pitch where he ran from like his position all the way. Mendy, by the way, we'll get there, I'm sure, but what the fuck? But where Asensio literally slid like 15 yards and got the ball. I forget who was in on goal, but yeah, he's unbelievable.
Even like you remember Leah, like at the very end of the game, like almost before the penalty shootout, Asensio started limping, and it was like he
Yeah.
was on his last legs. And then after that, he's sprinting to win a 50-50 ball. So like that kind of like put his
Yeah.
performance in a, it was the icing on the cake of a very heroic Asensio performance. It, like in terms of like ticking boxes of how to suffer, we ticked
Mhm.
off all the boxes of like ultimate suffering.
Yeah,
Like
literally.
we couldn't have if you gave Ancelotti a shotgun and was like, "Hey, shoot every Madridista in the foot." Like he couldn't have shot it any better to like like
No, literally.
the worst start possible. Atletico Madrid, they're in their element when they don't need to attack. Like we put them in their comfort zone with a horrible start, and they're just so masterful at controlling the game without the ball. They don't need the ball. The less
Mhm.
they have it, the more in control they are often.
Mhm.
And we just put them in their comfort zone, and then all of a sudden, like it was just rinse and repeat. U-shaped possession in Atletico Madrid's third. We couldn't get past their deep low block. Banks of 6 and 7. Maybe Vinny or Rodrigo would take one player on if they could beat that man, then get swarmed because the help defense was so good. We couldn't find the open man. Mbappe was extremely quiet, and it was just poor. Like it was just bad. We had like too many making mistakes. We had Rudiger and Mendy making mistakes. Um, and then we had this weird period, Leah, in the second half where Vasquez comes in, and then we shift to a Fede and Camavinga double pivot, which actually was brilliant. That was actually the Fede Camavinga double pivot. They were both fantastic.
Yeah.
But we just had this like 1 hour of Vasquez taking horrible set pieces. Like it was so
So bad.
confusing. Like we had one where he decides to shoot from across the angle, another one where he
So
crosses it
bad.
near post when no one's in position or ready to attack the cross. It was just weird. It was ultimate suffering until this is classic Real. I guess I wouldn't have it any other way because nope, like this is crazy. This is such how many times do we have to go through this?
This is
We
what
just
I
go
was
through
saying
this. I
the
don't know.
other day with Matt. Like, if we were going to listen, it's very optimistic to say we're going to win a treble, okay? But if we were going to win the Champions League, if we were going to win a treble, if we are going to win anything, like, we'll never. It's just Real Madrid scripted to win it this way. Like, struggle, suffer, be so bad, and then come out on top. Like, there's no domination and then trophy. That's just not how. That's not in our wheelhouse. That's not how we do things around here.
It's so funny because you hear so many things like if Real Madrid plays this way against X team,
Yeah,
they just have no
literally.
chance. And then
Uh-huh.
they roll up and play this way against the next X team and then just win.
Yeah,
At some
literally.
point, when does our luck run out? I don't know. I don't know if like you want to call it luck. Like to be fair, like yeah, we were poor. Our approach was poor. We shot ourselves in the foot to start the game. It took us a lot of time to recover, and we didn't have many opportunities throughout this game. Barely any transition attacks. I mean, when Mbappe won the penalty in the second half, that was like maybe the first really good transition attack we had.
Yeah.
It starts with Camavinga winning the ball. Vinny, great pass. Bellingham, great pass. Mbappe, great run. Like, how
Mhm.
many did we actually have? That may have been the only one.